Hi, this is usually the part where I say that I'm The Wire, and I'm here to talk about TV, but today is a bit different because what I found on the internet never actually made it as far as the flickering electric box. But that doesn't make it any more forgivable. This is my review of the first, only, unaired pilot episode of David E. Kelley's Wonder Woman reboot. We start with a scene that looks more like something out of House than Wonder Woman, where this young black guy opens his college admissions letter, celebrates with his family, and then starts bleeding from his eyeballs all within the first 3 minutes. Gentlemen and ladies, we are not in the 1970s anymore. Smash cut 2, a terrified-looking bald guy running away from a mad woman in blue tights who runs in sometimes cheap CGI jumps over cars. I'll linger on this for a moment because this is our first glimpse of Adrienne Palicki as Wonder Woman. Well, she looks pretty intense when she's running. I guess this really isn't the 1970s anymore. And I know the chase music sounds like this, but I've heard a nasty rumor that in Kelley's original version of this script, this chase took place to the dulcet tones of single ladies. Let's see how that changes the mood.
All the single ladies, 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 all the single ladies. Now put your hands up.
Anything I can say would just ruin it. Eventually, she gets close enough to him to grab him with her lasso, jab a needle into his neck, and then the cops arrive.
If I give him to you, he'll lawyer up.
Yeah, it's called due process. Look, I'm no expert, but I thought Wonder Woman was supposed to be more vigilant even than the average superhero in delivering criminals to the proper authorities. Maybe there's some grand event in Wonder Woman's backstory that made her lose faith in the legal system, or maybe they think this kind of scowling, violent hard-assery is the only way a superhero is going to be taken seriously nowadays. Which is already a bad sign. Wonder Woman has a boomerang tiara and bracelets that can stop bullets. I don't want to take her seriously because people don't seriously save the day with those things. Anyway, we hear a bunch of television talking heads calling Wonder Woman a lawless vigilante who thinks dressing in red, white, and blue means she can completely disregard people's constitutional rights. Then there's another talking head who says, well, at least there's one woman out there interested in justice, and I wonder who exactly she's talking about, because the Wonder Woman we met seems to have nothing but contempt for America's criminal justice system. She lands her distinctly not invisible jet, and these two I will call Ginger Suit and Black Lady Suit start fussing over her while she shrugs off their concerns like the angry, bitter person she is for some reason.
Go to the infirmary, get yourself checked.
Henry? Fine.
Meanwhile, we find out via the handy exposition-dispensing newscasters that Wonder Woman's name is Diana Themyscira, and she runs a multi-million-dollar company which funds her crime-fighting operations. But wait, if it's public knowledge that she runs this company, doesn't this mean her enemies could find out where she is at any moment of any day with a minimum of effort? I know jets and colorful final outfits don't come cheap, but surely there are other ways to fund her escapades. Ways that don't involve potentially putting every employee she has in the crosshairs of some supervillain. Unless there are no supervillains.
I'm the shadows on the wall. I'm the monsters they become. I'm the nightmare in your skull. I'm a
Dr. Doom has attained powers without limit. This time, there will be no failure.
stabbing pain, a sudden start. And it's so easy when you're evil. This
I shall
is
pick
the
the
life
role
you see.
of
The devil
executioner.
tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil. And I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need.
That'd be a letdown. I fear we've officially entered bad show territory.
Bad show, bad show, bad show, bad show, bad show, bad show, bad show.
Brace yourselves, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So Wonder Woman says that the guy running away was working for Veronica Cale.
Veronica Cale's boys. Run like a cheetah.
A name which means nothing to me yet and so does not justify almost breaking his neck and then scoffing at his right to an attorney. Not to mention that neck injection. What the hell was that anyway? See, at first I thought she was getting a blood sample, but then she didn't pull the plunger up again and I didn't see any blood. And then I thought she was drugging him so he could be arrested, but no, she didn't want to hand him over to the cops, so that wasn't it. But if she wanted to keep him for herself, why drug him at all? Why not just tie him up with the magic lasso and ask her questions? And then I thought, well, maybe her lasso isn't magical at all, and she'd injected him with some sort of truth serum so she could question him, only to be interrupted by the cops, which explains why she was so annoyed with them. But why, if her lasso isn't magical and so can't make people tell the truth, is it still called the lasso of truth?
If you look closely, we've highlighted it. There's the famous lasso of truth shooting out as she Abu Ghraib's her quarry.
Wow. I mean, I know they leashed inmates around the neck at Abu Ghraib, but is that really the image you want the kids at home to be remembering 5 minutes into your new superhero show? And just look at her little smile here at the replay. You know, I'm starting to think this Wonder Woman isn't a very nice lady. So the news keeps yammering about how dressing up in a costume is good for Wonder Woman's public image, and Dr. Phil says she probably has anger management issues.
The girl is a little nuts.
She puts on civilian clothes and gets ready to head back to what Ginger Suit calls Diana Prince's home.
The Diana Prince home?
Don't start.
I know I've mentioned this twice in as many minutes, but really, if it's public knowledge that Wonder Woman needs the funds from her company to fight crime, then what's stopping the villains from aiming for her wallet by targeting her company? Is Themyscira Industries invulnerable? Is corporate headquarters in the heart of a fortified volcano? Are all the suits secretly cyborgs with ninja training? Actually, I'd watch the hell out of a show like that.
The idea of me carving out any semblance of a normal life.
Sentimental coming home music plays as Diana grabs her mail and heads up to her humble little room. Humble in this case being a spacious, gorgeous-looking apartment with a crystal chandelier and a kitty cat.
I mauled a rat today. How about you?
Hey, lady, that was a living, breathing human being you almost killed. You know, Gail Simone said that part of Wonder Woman's appeal is that although she's powerful enough to tear just about anyone's head clean off, she won't do it unless she has to, because every act of violence is a failure of her mission as a warrior for peace. I'm pretty sure it's out of character for her to be bragging about mauling anyone.
Tonight, I am building my Facebook page.
With your TV remote. So a miscellaneous clip on Facebook TV causes her to flash back to what I assume is a breakup scene between her and this guy, whom she is apparently dumping because her superpowers make her feel obligated to move to LA and fix the world. You know, Diana, this is another reason why superheroes have secret identities, so they can be superheroes and still date people. Fade in on the next day, Wonder Woman and her suits are discussing businessy things until dun dun dun, the Black Mother from the first scene is standing there looking all sad and serious and like she's ready to get this plot moving. I noticed the lack of a visitor's badge. I take this to mean she walked in right off the street, right into the face of the CEO. So much for that fortified volcano security. In Diana's office, we find out that the kid was apparently poisoned by drugs he got from the guy Diana was chasing. At least Diana says it was the guy she was chasing. We haven't seen any proof yet. Then Mom says,
I wish you'd killed him.
I know you want vengeance, but let's leave that to me, okay? I'm kind of good at it.
Since when? Really, when has Wonder Woman's thing ever been revenge? I don't know if this is supposed to be a plot point hinting at some great wrong she had to avenge in her past, or if the writers really just had no idea what kind of character they were supposed to be writing for. Then she gives a press conference where she says Veronica Cale's pharmaceutical company is passing out these miracle performance-enhancing drugs to kids from the ghetto for some reason. No mention of the fact that these ghetto kids are all black, and I'm wondering, if these particular kids took the drugs and died, and yet other people have taken the drug and not died, then maybe this drug is some form of racist drug that only kills a certain ethnic group, and Veronica Cale is trying to wipe out black people, or...
I was born a poor black child.
Point taken. I will shut up now. And we find out that the guy Diana was chasing in the first scene was, she says, a drug dealer who'd been taking the drug himself, and that she stabbed him to get a blood sample before the drug passed from his system, which explains that part, but doesn't explain why we didn't see any blood. Oh, I guess her hand was covering it. Well, that was the most confusing way they could have possibly staged that. And shame on Veronica for making the amateur crime boss mistake of using somebody as valuable as this test subject runner guy as a street dealer. Avon Barksdale would not approve. Here we get our first look at Veronica Cale, as played by Elizabeth Hurley, a woman known for nothing if not her skill at creating subtle and compelling characters.
This woman's an action figure. She's primarily in the business of being popular so she can sell her merchandise. And to be properly heroic, you need a villain.
Well, looks like today that's me.
If you can think of a way this could have been more obnoxiously meta, please tweet it to me.
She called me an action figure.
Black Lady Suit points out that she's right. Diana does dress like an action figure, on purpose, for the sake of her image. So the scene ends with Black Lady Suit telling Diana some blah 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 about how taking on Cale is bad PR and that the drug test on the guy she stabbed came back negative. Okay. I assume we will eventually find out why Diana is so convinced he's guilty then, right? She caught him in the act or something, didn't she? Right? The answers aren't coming, are they? But maybe it's unfair of me to keep comparing this Wonder Woman to the iconic comic book heroine. Maybe I should try taking a step back from my preconceptions and appreciating this character for who she is. Jump cut to the marketing meeting, and whoa, did I pick a bad time to try abandoning my preconceptions. I mean, look at all that stuff. Posters, collectible figurines, a forest of Grecian urns. They are deliberately hitting you over the head that this is supposed to be the Wonder Woman, the very same one you've always heard so much about. Turns out Wonder Woman crap is what Themyscira Industries sells, which means they must have her likeness copyrighted. Try not to remember those stories about Disney suing such dastardly institutions as public schools for putting paintings of Mickey Mouse on their walls, or the way you have to approach Elvis Presley Enterprises with the financial equivalent of a blood sacrifice if you want to put an image of the King of Rock and Roll on anything. None of that really melds with my image of a hero's generosity. They're not even selling the right image. Why isn't the doll wearing blue pants? She selected her outfit specifically to look like a doll, so why don't the outfits match? I know this could possibly be considered foreshadowing, but I somehow doubt that much thought went into it.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh, right, they're talking. Let's listen in.
The whole purpose of this meeting is to get your input.
My input is that the doll is insulting.
Misguided feminism in 4, 3, 2...
I know Amazons are endowed with various blessings. We are not this endowed.
Well, there's our first confirmation that Amazons exist, which probably means the Greek pantheon exists too. Wouldn't going public with that kind of information cause some small global upheaval as the leaders of the world's monotheistic religions fight for their survival by denouncing her, maybe calling her a demon working evil miracles to lure humanity away from the true faith? All while more and more people start worshipping the Greek gods instead? I mean, I know that religion's been out of fashion for ages, but if the deities are provably real, a lot of people would say that makes them worth a second look.
These breasts are ridiculous.
And why the crap would an Amazon care who thinks her boobs are big or small? She's already a goddess.
Care about the flowcharts.
I do. It's my job to care.
Well, you should care about my being
merchandising.
objectified.
It just doesn't make any sense for an Amazon to think like this. I can't imagine that an isolated society made up exclusively of gorgeous immortal warrior women of the gods would spend much time discussing things like the way society objectifies the female body, the psychological effects of impossible beauty standards, or the link between body image and self-esteem in children.
To pay for the crime fighting, you like your gadgets, you like your pants.
Especially since in most versions of Wonder Woman's origin story, she was the only child ever born on her island, so she should know a lot less even than the average person about how children think.
I never signed off on this prototype.
You were the one who designed the form-fitting costume. You had the idea to merchandise.
I never said to merchandise my tits.
Diana, you can't make yourself into a living doll specifically for marketing purposes and then start worrying that your flawless fictional figure will make little girls feel bad about their own bodies. That is hypocritical and stupid. Diana also establishes that she's the worst CEO in history because the doll launches in a few months and she's raised no objections to the boob size before now. I know she's been distracted, but really, if she's that distracted, she should probably put someone else in charge of the company so she can concentrate on beating up evildoers. So basically what this has all been building up to is a teary-eyed speech from Diana about how perfect Wonder Woman is supposed to be.
Perfect tits, perfect ass, perfect teeth. It's not like we should expect the world to accept her being human.
She's a goddess! You know, this is one of the reasons why other superheroes don't make themselves into dolls or become high-profile CEOs, so the public won't get to read in the business section about how the champion of truth and justice stormed out of a boardroom to cry. What an adult. So Ginger Suit follows her and reminds her that her crime-fighting technology is all funded by her merchandise and that the doll is their highest seller. I have no idea what crime-fighting technology he's talking about. Wonder Woman fights mostly with gear she got from her island for free. I know there's her jet, but that can't cost that much to maintain, can it? I mean, it's not even invisible! She says she's sorry and that the guy she chased down earlier tested negative for drugs, like this somehow excuses her behavior, but I'm glad anyway because the change of subject means the doll subplot is over, and that, more than anything else in this show so far, was overloading my fragile, emotional little lady brain. So Ginger Suit asks her why she cares so much, and she says maybe it's because kids are involved, which means, of course, that the real reason must be that she hasn't talked to her ex-boyfriend in a while. Ginger Suit, because this is absolutely his business, asks her why she broke up with the guy. Flashback to awkward dinner where Diana gives soon-to-be ex-boyfriend a speech about how she has to go be a hero and that if he's with her he'll be in danger and blah 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 de blah. So sorry, Ginger Suit, Black Lady Suit, and every other public association she has, none of you are important enough for her to try removing you from the line of fire. Back to today, Ginger Suit thinks Diana's lonely and they have some banter that I think is supposed to establish their friendship and just ends up making her look kind of pathetic and easy to push around. Good thing this scene is interrupted by Veronica Cale arriving to say hello, and by hello, I mean...
It's nice to finally meet you in the extraordinary flesh.
Nice to meet you too, Miss Sexual Harassment Lawsuit. So the evil corporate commando lady instantly starts with the sexual advances for no reason other than the prudes at home will find it threatening and can shudder at the evil lady's evil gay wrongness even while they also get to imagine that these two just might make out. It's a nice 1-2 of exploitative classlessness. So she tells Wonder Woman that she does the super steroid drugs herself, and she feels perfectly healthy, so she obviously can't be poisoning anyone.
Would you like to feel my muscle?
Keith Stone, you're so smooth.
Kale asks if her athletes are making Wonder Woman defensive of her superhuman supremacy, and then threatens to sick her pet politicians on the company, or on Wonder Woman herself. I'm not really sure which one. Either way, you'd think it would illustrate the downside of everybody knowing where your crime-fighting funds are coming from, but we are in sucky show territory now, so not a single one of these characters will come to the obvious conclusion. But Wonder Woman has no time for logic. It is time to fly some not-invisible airplanes through the picturesque Los Angeles area super smog. Da-da-da-da! So Wonder Woman strides purposefully down the corridor and winds up at the hospital bed of the kid from the intro. He gets a bit starstruck over having a celebrity in his room, and she tells him to get well soon, and the whole thing is so emotionally manipulative that I am bracing myself for Wonder Woman to be even more violently angry now that she's got motivation and something to fight for.
Truth, justice, and the American way, right?
Sort of.
Then she walks down the hall to a guarded hospital room. When the guard on duty won't let her inside, she points out that she has boobs.
Like my outfit, officer?
When Officer Duty is immune to boobage, she makes with the threats of physical violence until Detective Rumpled Suit shows up. She tells him that the guy she lassoed earlier knows where the evil lab of evil is located, and she needs 5 minutes alone with him. Since the detective can smell impending violence, he isn't going to let her do this, but then she makes some crazy face at him that for some reason gives him a change of heart, and he actually lets her enter the room where the guy she almost killed is convalescing. The predictable result of this blind stupidity is that she grabs the guy and twists his arm for information. Oh, how I wish that were a metaphor. Yeah, guys, Wonder Woman, the champion of truth, justice, and the American way, is a torturer. This is where the show can, officially, go fuck itself. Since torture always works, the very next scene is Diana telling the detective that Veronica is making super soldiers and now she knows where the evil lab of evil is. Thank goodness the detective points out that the cops can't act on information tortured out of a suspect, which makes Wonder Woman all angry because she's a moron. He also brings up that if his higher-ups knew he guarded the door while she tortured a suspect, he'd be fired. Which he really should be. Really, he had to know what she was planning, and he let it happen. Why? Because she made a face at him? Because he thought this was a good way to get the information? Because she's wearing a red vinyl bustier? Why did he let her at the suspect? The cop neglects to mention that another reason authorities cannot act on information extracted by torture is that it's famously unreliable. I'll let Michael Weston explain.
Torture just gets you the fastest lie to make the pain stop.
Now, maybe Diana can count on this guy to tell the truth because she put that lasso on his chest first, but we've seen no sign whatsoever that this lasso is magical, so as far as we know, this guy just lied his ass off, and by the time Diana learns that, it'll be too late. So then Diana has to have dinner with the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who is also Kale's puppet, obviously sent to threaten Diana with legal action. She gives him some smug little speech on all the topical, timely, and instantly dated problems the nation is facing and how all of that is much more worthy of his attention than her. Personally, I think somebody publicly and unapologetically disregarding the rule of law and torturing people is still pretty damn important, but what do I know? And you know what, Diana? This is why other superheroes have secret identities, so that authorities won't feel obligated to put this kind of pressure on them. So Diana and the Suits are worrying about being lawyered to death until Black Lady Suit gets a phone call that the kid from the first scene just died. Ominous music plays as Wonder Woman suits up and flies off to invade the evil lab of evil, all while a chorus of support rises over the radio. And because this show takes place in the Jack Bauer universe where tortured people never ever lie, the location she got is totally accurate, and we see Kale and her beefy minions getting ready for Wonder Woman to show up. Why they didn't just burn the evidence and evacuate, in fact, why they didn't do that the instant they learned the location was compromised, I just couldn't tell you. Oh wait, yes I can. It's because everyone is stupid! So, Wonder Woman tears through security, rips open the door, and yes, she's now wearing the classic Wonder Woman outfit, even though it breaks their own continuity, and there's no goddamn reason for her to pick now, of all times, to show up without pants on! Diana, it pains me to say this, but those awful, unflattering, star-spangled knot pants are too good for you. Those are the ugly, awful pants of a hero, and you are a bitch.
How's it going?
The classic outfit doesn't even come close to matching the cliché, gritty, shaky cam fight setting either. If there was ever a time and place for Wonder Woman's black pants and jacket combo, it's right here. This is like watching Barbie star in a remake of Die Hard. Then it's finally time for the confrontation with the evil Elizabeth Hurley.
You have injured my employees, some catastrophically, others you have killed, and I have all of it on various cameras. You are about to meet your equal, Wonder Woman. The American criminal justice system.
Kelly, I know you love your legal shit, but this is the wrong place for this! Sorry, I'm calm. And the show's almost over. Plus, we know Veronica took the super soldier drugs herself, so it looks like Wonder Woman's finally gonna have a challenge, and we're gonna have a super-powered cat fight. Let's see how long it takes for something ambiguously sexual to happen. And that's it, guys. That's all the fight we get. There needs to be a better word for letdown. In the infirmary, she finds all the mutated test subjects. The cops arrive, and I'm sure glad all those superheroics are over, because now we can get back to the really interesting stuff. That's right. The people on TV talking about the plot. Oh, nameless talking heads, how I've missed you. And Wonder Woman walks from the elevator to find her entire company is giving her a massive ovation. Yay! Boss lady killed some people who may have had families and loved ones, but we're clapping anyway because we worship her shadow and would gladly die for her, and yay! This show sucks donkey balls. And then Ginger Suit gives her a speech on how proud he is to work with her, subverting the tiny shreds of common sense he's displayed up to this point, and then it turns out that the lawyer that's been sent to investigate her is her very own ex-boyfriend. They make eyes at each other, he declares her innocent of all legal wrongdoing, and sad music plays when she notices he's married now. Buddy, you will never know what a near miss you had. Then Diana's back at her apartment and proudly tells her cat about all the rats she mauled. Then she makes a Facebook page with her computer, not her remote control. And then she feels sad that she has no friends. Oh, I wonder why. And we end on this shot of Wonder Woman sitting on her sofa watching the still more fake newscasts about her with a beer in her hand looking all depressed. And that's it. That's all the show we get. What did I think? I think the only reason Kelly could come up with for why someone would rather be a superhero than a lawyer was utter contempt for due process, and that turned this version of the Amazon princess into basically the Punisher minus guns and every obvious reason to be angry. I also think he made her a CEO in an attempt to turn her into the kind of workaholic single businesswoman that he knows he can write for, and that was a fatal decision. Yes, she'd need some source of income, but making her into a highly visible white-collar power player created way more problems than it solved. If she really needs that much money, then Diana Prince can be Ginger Suit's personal assistant or something, and then he and Black Lady Suit can fund her exploits in secret. A lot of logical problems will be avoided. The costume is another thing that makes me think Kelly must not like superheroes very much, or at all, really. Here, Diana puts on the red, white, and blue not to send a message of heroic idealism or even to conceal her identity. Instead, she's making a deliberate and cynical bid at 21st century commercialism. There is just so much about this character to dislike. And for a show with only one lawyer in it, there was way too much yammering about the legality of this, that, or the other thing. Maybe because Kelly could imagine the legal repercussions of superpowered vigilante, and that was as far as he got. I admire and respect the man, but if this was all he could find to write about, he really should have trusted his instincts and passed on this project. It was wrong for him from the start. But the torture was where this became truly irredeemable. Imagine Superman waterboarding somebody. It's that kind of wrong. The acting was fair to middling. Adrienne Palicki emoted well, even with such an unsavory character, and she's a natural athlete who made the physical stuff look easy, but I can't help but think she was cast back when this was the single ladies version of the show, the one that would be played more for laughs. She's got an every-girl quality that's probably going to play better in a workplace dramedy than as a scowling Jack Bauer and a bustier. Enjoy the mental image, folks. I can see why this wasn't picked up. Say what you will about the cape, and I've said plenty, but at least someone involved with that liked Batman Begins. I don't think anyone who worked on Wonder Woman has ever liked anything with a superhero in it. Trying to make this show gritty and realistic and topical robbed it of any sense of magic or wonder or adventure. That it will never see the light of an actual television airing is a mercy to everyone. Especially me. Lots and lots of me.
The colors were chosen to show your allegiance to freedom and democracy. The skirt can be discarded if it should prove cumbersome. The material is indestructible.
Oh, it's beautiful, Mother. Thank you.
I designed it myself, never knowing that it would be worn by my own daughter.
I'll make you proud. I promise.
There are many things you don't know about the world of men. There are even some women there who are less than our Amazonian ideals.
I believe I can handle them, Mother.
I know you can. You are my daughter. And a princess. The invisible plane is waiting. The American is already aboard. Go that in the world of ordinary mortals, you are a Wonder Woman.
I will make you proud of me. And of Wonder Woman.